Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today, beautiful day outside, thought I'd profit from it. Today we're going to talk about different ways that you can use a rain jacket to keep things dry. So I'll be right back with you. Welcome back again, everybody, and today's conversation, today's video, we're going to talk about different ways that we can use a rain jacket, like one I have here, just for example, you know, keep things dry. Okay, the first way, which is why it's the purpose of the rain jacket, is to wear on us ourselves, you know, to put it on and to wear it. Okay, and the rain jacket, it offers several things. Number one, it offers you some protection from the rain, the wet weather, and as long as you're not moving around too much and the weather's not too humid, you'll stay dry. Now if the weather is a bit humid and you're moving around a bit, you're gonna sweat from inside, and if you don't have any ventilation, you're probably going to start sweating and get wet anyway. So but it will protect you pretty much. Especially, you need to have a hood put over your head, and like I said, good ventilation. Another thing it's going to protect you from is the wind. So if you have a bit of wind, it's going to be a good windbreaker for that. And if it gets a little cool, then you can put yourself an insulated barrier underneath of it, and then you can throw this over it, and then you're going to have even more protection. It's going to keep you warm, okay, even in a static situation. Well, there are a few ways that you can use a rain jacket in the outdoors if you find yourself in a situation where, well, let's say, like I said, you're going for a hike and it starts raining, and you didn't put your gear, you put your gear in your backpack but not in waterproof bags. Well, what you can do is you can actually cover your backpack with the rain jacket. Okay, and it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple way of doing it. You just basically take your pack, put your rain jacket on it. Okay, then what you can do is you can pull your sleeves up, the shoulder straps up, and you can actually go in and zip it up if it'll reach around. Zip it up on the inside of it as high as you can get it. Okay, and then you can feed your straps back around, and you can put like so. When you're wearing it, you can put this part over your head. You have your straps to go on your shoulders. You can also feed your straps, if you can access them, you can unbuckle them through the sleeves, and you can wear it on your back in that form also. Another thing, and it's one that we used to use it quite often in the Army before we got Gore-Tex sleeping bag covers, because in the early days we didn't have them. It was in the later 80s when we got them and we were testing them, and then the ECWC system came out, and that came out actually for units that I served in. I mean, we had a system very similar to it with a waterproof cover we used in the very at the end of the 80s. But then I was sent to Germany. We didn't have that anymore. We didn't have that system anymore, and then it got back to the States, and there we still hadn't been issued it. It still didn't exist for us on our level. That didn't come out to the late 90s, I would say. The ECWC system in the sleeping bag. I wish we had it when I was in the Army serving, because we definitely needed it. The Army mountain sleeping bag, we couldn't carry it. It was just too bulky, too voluminous, and too heavy for us to carry that along with everything else in our gear. Excuse me. They're doing all the cutting right now, all that. They're doing a lot of hay cutting right now. It's that first cut of the season, and a little bit of, I'm not allergic to it, but just get a little bit in the nose. Anyway, so what we would do is we would take our sleeping bag, if we had a sleeping bag, and if you didn't, you had just a poncho on, this would work also. And we would take our, I'm going to use this sleeping bag right here, for example. This right here is a lightweight sleeping bag that I've had for some years here. It's a some weight bag, and all we would do is, well, the colors are going to sort of match. You go down to the foot of the bag, and you would take your rain jacket, or you can take your rain jacket or a Gore-Tex jacket. This will also work if you have a waterproof bag. Also, that will also work, a big enough one. And you basically stuff your foot of it, the feet of it, inside of it as much as you can. Okay, and then when you get inside of it, now the ends here, you can use a drawstring here to draw up the face part of this, or you can just tie the whole thing up like a knot. And then you can use this, like you see here, over the sling bag to protect your feet, keep your feet warm, and keep this part, especially if you're, let's say you're sleeping under some fir trees, and up closer to the head of to the foot of the fir tree is going to be drier. Usually don't have much precipitation at all to get in there, even snow. I've slept in this just up underneath them in the wintertime. But the problem with that is that your feet sort of stick out if you sort of sleeping head up against it. Okay, it's hard to sleep across it. You have to sleep across the roots. You're going to sort of sleep with them, and so you can sleep up in there, but your feet just sort of stick out. And if you don't have a waterproof cover over your sleeping bag, a bivy bag, then you can use this technique right here to keep the foot of your feet of your foot of your sling bag dry. So this is another use. Okay, so another thing you can also use it for is if you want to collect some water, you tie the ends together right here. All right, you can tie the sleeves together, okay, and dip this sucker into some water, and you can collect some kind of water in it also. Another thing you can use it for is a flotation device. You can put it on you, and when it's on you, let's see if we can't. God, it's so warm out here today. I really don't want to put this thing on, but for you, I'll do it. You can put this thing on if you're wearing it. Zip it up like you normally zip it up and wear it. And then what you can do is at the bottom, splash water into it. This will fill up with air. This part right here will. Keep it nice and tight up against your neck as tight as possible, where it sort of forms a seam here. Fill it with air. This right here will float, and it'll keep you above water level, and it's a good survival thing also. And there you go. And if your other clothes are wet, you can always throw this right here on to let your other stuff dry out, you know. And also in the wintertime, I mean, your clothes, once you're static, and if you're wearing a breathable jacket like this one right here is, then you will dry out your clothes also. Anyway, just a few uses for the rain jacket. You know, people, I'd still tend to carry one with me. I know that if I have a poncho, I'll carry a poncho with me, but and then I can use it for multi-tasks. But the thing with that is that once I have it up for like a basha, then I don't have anything to protect me if I'm out looking for firewood or whatever. So it's good to have something, okay, on you. So a good lightweight rain jacket will work. You know, those Gore-Tex ones, they're pretty expensive. I think I paid $120 for this one right here. This is the second one I've had. This is from the North Face. I don't necessarily recommend the North Face. The dry vent is not Gore-Tex, but it is a breathable material. You see inside of it, you have the mesh over the white part. The white part's the Gore-Tex, and then this is a 3-layer also, as you would find with normal Gore-Tex stuff like that. It just can't call it Gore-Tex, but it does the same thing. It's breathable, okay? But you know, you pay $500, $600, $700 for the other brands, and you got to be very careful of that, because I mean that's really eating into whatever budget you have. You know, now when you first start out light, you know, and start out with stuff that's inexpensive. Like I said, I've had 2 of these. The only reason why I bought the second one is because the first one was getting a little tight on me, and I got the same size, and this one's bigger. Sort of strange, but also, the cut's bigger. But also, the first one was a gray, which I like the gray color because it sort of blends in a little better. But the delamination started happening on the inside of it also, so it's just pretty sad. But anyway, just a little example of some things you can do with a rain jacket, and you know that you can't do with everything. And if you have a soft shell one, that'll work also, especially if it's got all the seams are all sewn, or excuse me, or all taped, you know. That's something you got to look into when you look into it. The soft shell ones are nice. I do like the soft shell jackets myself. I just find them sometimes a little bit heavier than what this right here is. This compacts down really low, you know, really small, and it works fine. Another thing you can do when you pack up your rucksack, what you can do is, if you don't have a waterproof bag, you can take your jacket, zip it up like we have here, and put everything inside of it, and then stick that inside the backpack also. Or just, because it's one of those things you're gonna need pretty quickly when you pack it up, pack it on top, get it around everything a little bit, and that'll help protect anything from any kind of rain that's happening, especially if it gets heavy rain, so any kind of precipitation. But that's it, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, give me a, you know, leave a comment down below. I want to hear what you do, what you use, what your recommendations are, what your opposition to my argument is. And also, please subscribe to my channel, and like I just said already. And you know what? Share with your friends and enemies. And I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. And I hope you all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.